Hey guys, what's up? This is episode number 9 and we have to continue with our inventory. So far we can pick up items as well as stackable items, so we need this functionality for our ammunition or like our bullets for a pistol. But now in order to basically heal from our inventory, like using a healing item or maybe using a key item, or also reload our pistol, which is basically all this logic we have in our PlayStation 1 Resident Evil, we need to add functionality to our inventory. And this is what we're gonna do. On top of that, in the end of the video, I will also try to implement a complete reload system. So you can reload your pistol inside your inventory with actual bullets. You can waste bullets, and when the bullets are gone, you don't have bullets anymore, you cannot shoot. So you have to pick up bullets again and you have to reload. So this is what we will implement. Let's start. Before we start, you can see I made this scene a little more romantic. So what I did, I just moved the sun a little bit towards the horizon and just added more intensity to our skylight. So I set the skylight from intensity 1 to 2, so the shadows will be not as deep and everything will be a little more clear for us. And also, as you can see, I removed the volumetric clouds also to save some performance. Okay, so let me open up this content drawer here. And we start by opening up the AC inventory. And right here at the same time, we can already see the F show inventory. So just open that one up. So in order to interact with our inventory, because so far it's just visible for us, but we actually want to do stuff inside our inventory, as I said, like reload, unlocking doors, use healing items, maybe combine items. So we want to do this. We need to set our input mode to the UI once we open our inventory. So this function is already quite handy for us. So when we press tab, the show inventory is already assigned to our keyboard button, which in this case is tab. So this function will be triggered and we can from here just continue and get player controller. So just get this one and then simply set input mode to UI only. Just connect that one up. Also, out of this get player controller, we show mouse cursor, but we set this one to true, because once we open our inventory, we don't want to move. So our input mode is on mode user interface only. Let's not forget our WB inventory and just connect that one up, because when we put our focus to our user interface only, of course, he's asking us what is the next focus. So what will the focus be on what kind of UI? In this case, it will be our inventory. And from there, just also drag here and set the focus. This is pretty crucial. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. So we want to have an actual focus to our inventory. When we set the focus to our inventory and our input mode is basically to the user interface only, our character cannot move anymore because our keyboard and our mouse is completely assigned to our inventory. So we cannot close our inventory anymore because our keyboard commands are not connected anymore. So our input basically is lost. So, but we can just avoid this problem by just simply going to the WB inventory here. So just open that one up, the widget blueprint underscore inventory. And we need to have an key down, which means under functions override, we have this on key down. Just open that one up, give a little bit of space in key event. So he's already asking us like get the key. So what kind of key? In this case, this key should be equal to, click on this and press tab to basically tab. So when we are inside our inventory, so our inventory is basically opened, we can press tab inside our inventory without any issues, make a branch, connect that branch with our tab button, remove all widgets, set input mode back to a game only, and we get the player controller, connect this one, and also show mouse cursor. We set the show mouse cursor and set it to false. So we just leave like it is. And in return, we just set this to handled. So this one is done. This function is fired. Now we open up our WB inventory slot. Go to the item button and make sure that under appearance, your color and opacity and background color is set to 0. So it's just enough that you have this background color to 0, which should already be like this when you followed my tutorial. And also, while we are here, set this one to is focusable. Let's leave the designer tab and go into the graph. Also just compile and save. And now we need more override functions. We use on mouse enter and we use on mouse leave. So this is just a cosmetic thing we are going to do, but I think this is quite necessary because when we hover over a specific slot or item, we should see like our color, like the visualization, the color is actually highlighting or changing a little bit. So we get our item button here, just put it in the between those two events, off of the item button, set the background color. Our background color right now by default is not visible. Every time we enter this particular item button, so we just hover over it, we set the background color to something different. And at the same time, when we leave, we just connect that one up as well. And we get here a promote to variable. So when we leave, this one should be called color on leave. And when we promote this one to a variable, put this down here, we call it color on enter. So let me just drag this one up so it's a little more organized. And now basically just connect this one before I continue. We can decide like our color and intensity for event on mouse enter. So our color by default, as I told you here, is set to 0. Not the color, but the alpha channel. This means this is completely transparent. So if I just press 1, you can see this is completely white. We have a white background. But we don't want this, we make this transparent. So we leave it at 0. And now when we hover over this slot, let's go to this variable color on enter, which we promoted here. And on the bottom left, you can just open that one up and let me get a value, something like 0.5, the green channel 1, the blue channel also 0.5. And let's see the alpha, 0.3 should be fine. And then compile and save. And when we leave the color on leave, just open that one up, you can see this is completely 0. So when we leave, this one is completely transparent again. Let's just play, click on this, and you can see every time we hover over an item, we have just like a little bit of stuff going on here. If you don't like it, just set the color here on color enter and just change it maybe to something like this, and maybe just 0.2, which is a little weaker. Just choose whatever you like. I think this is perfect. Just choose whatever you like. So that now it just has this feel of like we're actually connecting with our inventory. So on top of that, we can also just import sounds. So let me just quickly import some inventory sounds and we just continue from there. So before I continue, let me just quickly add a new folder and call this SFX. So all sounds we will import later, we can just use this SFX for sound effects. And let me just add our first folder inside this folder called inventory. Or let's do, yeah, whatever. Let's do inventory. I don't really care. So, but next to our inventory, we can also add like stuff for like, let's say sounds for our player. And then you can also add, to stay organized, add sounds for our zombie, and new folder, footsteps, weapons. In this case, we just work with our inventory sounds for now. Okay, so let me just copy and paste this one on my second monitor. And boom, we are there. I just copy and pasted my inventory sounds from my project, from my own project into this course project. So now let me just check what kind of sounds we have here. We have this open storage. This is a sound queue, so this means we need to create them anyway. So let me just delete those. I have created those sounds a couple of years back when I started with Unreal Engine and started with creating my first inventory system. I was just using like Ableton, and I think I used like the Serum plugin, which is like an advanced synth where you can just make all those sounds. So I have a click sound for hovering maybe, or like something is not possible, you can use this. This is like for opening. This is some kind of like inspired by like Silent Hill. So I have something like this for inventory. So we can just choose a sound. Close inventory, pick up stuff. Those sounds are Foley, so I got this from the internet. And yeah. Also just simple, like old school inventory sounds. I just like this nostalgic feeling. So let me just go back, and now I will show you what we can do for our inventory slot. So now on mouse enter, we can just play sound 2D. So every time this event gets triggered, we can just, let's say, item menu. No, I made like click sounds. Yeah, this hover item click. Just get this one. And on leave, I think we don't need anything. So let's try. Let's pick up some items. And now you have this one. At the same time, you can also go to the AC inventory, and let's just where can we put it? Let's put it before our input mode to UI. And we just can play also, like we can just play sound 2D here as well. And we do inventory, I believe. Enter inventory. Yeah, we can use this one. Yeah. This one. So we don't need a sound cue, just the basic sound is fine. And as well as for the WB inventory, so when we are in our inventory and we close this one, so also before we set our input mode to game only again, we can just play sound 2D as well. So you get an idea what to do. Let's just search for leave. Yes, this one. And now you have something like this. Pick this one up, this, also this, and you see, you can just hover over it, you can see it's highlighted, and we can just close it. You can see here on the action IA inventory, the flip-flop, we can just ignore this one, just delete this, because we don't need to hide the inventory from here anymore, because we are doing it inside our widget. And of course, this was quite stupid of me. Connect this one back up, and we should be fine. So let me just try again. Yeah, and now we can just directly open, close, without spamming the button. Okay, fine. Okay, on event begin play, we already have the equip pistol, but we are just equipping it and attaching it to our component. This is not enough. We need to set this into our inventory. Let's do another function and just call it f pistol to inventory. Then we get the AC. Inside the AC there is this inventory. And now I want to add something to the inventory. So add, not the unique, but just add. And he's already asking us, okay, so what do you want to add? We just add BP. For this inventory, we have our BP master item. So our inventory is basically, as you can see, our master item. out of this master item, we have children like the donut and the cube. The BP pistol is a separate blueprint and is not part of this master item. So what we need to do, as you might remembered when we go back to our equip pistol, this blueprint, as I told you before, is not part of our master item. This is just a placeholder. So when we did this in our second or third episode, I told you we need to replace this anyway. And now we just can do this. So before we continue with our pistol here, we need to go back into our equip pistol and replace this. So our pistol needs to be part of our master item. Let's just go to inventory, right click on master item, create child, and we call this one BP item pistol. So this is what you're going to do for every single item you want to have in your inventory later in your game. So our item name is pistol, of course. Description is, this is a pistol. I don't really mind. Our item image is the pistol, so make sure that besides your weapon, you already have also the thumbnail for your weapon. And you can see, oh, this is the static mesh. Yes, of course it's the static mesh, because there it is. We added a static mesh. So in this case, you can just add a skeleton mesh. So go back to the master item, as I told you before in the previous episodes. Inside the master item here, let me just remove this event graph and let's get the view, no, not view, window and viewport, so you can see what's going on. We need to add also the skeleton mesh, and we just do this one here. Inside the skeleton mesh, just search for pistol, and there you have it, the SKM for skeleton mesh underscore pistol. And just compile and save. Let me just go to this skeleton mesh and let me see if we have the barrel. Yeah, you just make sure, if you followed the previous episodes, you have the barrel here. When you press spacebar, make sure you are in the move gizmo. Make sure that this x-axis is the forward vector basically here. Okay, so we have our barrel. This is perfectly fine because we need this, but when you followed the previous videos, you will have it 100%. Okay, now you can also see here we have our pistol in our viewport. Compile and save. Also, let's go to the BPRE character. Let's go to window, viewport. Click on her, like the skeleton mesh of your character. Open this skeleton mesh. And let's just replace this. Oh, we don't need to replace it. I thought this was the static mesh pistol, but it's not. It's the SKM pistol, so everything's fine. So we don't need to adjust anything here. So everything's nice. And we can just close. No, before we close, let's just make sure that our pistol here, sorry, we can just close the master item. So in the pistol here, when we click on this blueprint, we can see, okay, thumbnail is ready, and let's just leave it for default. We don't need to change it now. We change it later. Okay, let's just continue. So compile and save everything. And let's just close this viewport again to save performance. In the equip pistol, let's just go here and let's just replace this with the BP item pistol. Socket is attached to our character, so this is fine, and attach actor to component. This is socket name as well. But now you can see the pistol is the BP pistol. This is not correct, so let's just remove this one. And let's get here, promote to variable. And this one is the new pistol. So you can see BP item pistol. This is pretty important, that you just delete this one and right click promote to variable again once you change this BP item pistol, because now we can just call this BP. No, let's just call it, yeah, let's call it BP pistol. And you can see the pistol we have from before, like just plain pistol. Just remove this. Yeah, whatever. Just, it's okay. Just delete this. We don't really care now. So compile and save. And now we can take care of this. And we can see, okay, we just need to replace this one. So it's fine. The BP pistol and the BP pistol. Compile, this is fine. So this is the sphere trace we have, or in this case you have this line trace, so make sure that you replace this one here as well. So this one was just the plain pistol variable you had here, but now now it's gone because we deleted this. And make sure you have the BP pistol, and you get the BP pistol here, root component, and you connect that one up. So now your line trace is updated with the new blueprint. And that's it. Let's see, equip pistol. So now the new one is here. Okay. And now we can go back to our event graph, get this pistol to inventory, connect that one up. Let's go inside here. And now we can get our BP item pistol, compile and save. Okay, we might gonna have a couple of bugs, I believe, but let's just try it out and we can fix it. Okay, we don't have any bugs, but you can see the pistol is now on every item. It's because we added the skeleton mesh, but this is just pretty easy to fix. Go inside the inventory, go to the master item, and in the master item we remove the SKM pistol, compile and save, close the master item, and we add this to our BP item pistol. So when you have this view, just click on here, open full blueprint editor, and we go to the skeleton mesh here, and we use our skeletal mesh pistol. That's it, compile and save. And now let's play. We can see this is gone. We have our pistol in our inventory. We can pick up our stacks and our single item. And this is quite nice. Okay, good. And we don't have any errors. Okay, I will just end this video for now because I think this might be getting too long. It's too much information. And in the next episode, episode number 10, we will implement bullets. Also implement another widget, like a menu. So when you click on a slot, you have a menu where you can navigate. So for example, reload, depending if it's a bullet slot or not, or maybe it's a herbal item or a first aid spray. You can just click on this and then you can navigate, for example, use, or like you have a key and you can just unlock. So these are things we implement in the next episode. Okay, thank you.